to share this DNA this morning. Got lots of friends on the call, just excited to be with all of you every week at 12 p.m. And the reason I say Arizona time is Arizona does not do a time change. So it is very odd when the time shifts. So we say 12 p.m. Arizona time. Right now, that matches Pacific Daylight Time. When it goes to standard time, then it changes quite a bit. So we've got people jumping on the call. Just want to welcome you. This is the WEVO Secret. This is every Wednesday, 12 p.m. It's a free webinar. Feel free to invite your guests and bring people onto the webinar. I'll tell you that people all over the world are starting to grab this information and go, maybe there's something here that we've been overlooking. Governments are, Alina's raising a hand, so let me see what you got going on here real quick. Okay, Alina, I'm gonna have to apologize. I don't know, if you just want to put something in the chat, that would be great. I can see it. I'm not really sure what to do with the raised hand or how to access that on Zoom. But yeah, governments, political leaders, corporations are all starting to talk about the same thing. And they're actually, many of them are starting to come to us and saying, what is this concept of high vibing, thriving tribe? And here's the bottom line of what it means. Things are changing in the world. And years ago, it was predicted that a lot of the wealth and a lot of the commerce would end up in the hands of 5 to 10 mega giants, such as Amazon.com. Jason Mayer, you're on video, brother. It has been a while since I've seen you on video.
Thank you, Brett. I promised myself I'd show up on video before the end of the month and share that with Heather last week, and wanted to make sure I made it happen.
You're the man, dude. I love that. Way to keep your word.
Thank you.
Anyway, Amazon.com now is buying up organizations. They're a large distribution system for media, large distribution system for product. I certainly don't have any animosity or any fear or any resentment towards their phenomenal growth and achievement. And I was telling someone this week, I go, you got to be really, really careful if you get in that mindset of anti-corporate because you yourself are trying to grow your business. Are you going to shut down revenues and incomes as you grow? When you get that magic formula going and your business starts to exponentially grow, are you going to stop it somewhere and say, oh no, that's enough because it matches my previous stereotype of what I should do and what I've judged? And so I have no animosity towards this growth, but what I do know, and I started talking about this 6 years ago with this process of high vibing, thriving tribe, is that small businesses, solopreneurs, professionals, all of you, most of you, unless you're on this webinar and have a enterprise level company or a mid-sized company, which would be over 500 employees. So I'm betting everyone on this webinar is under 500 employees. Most of us are going to need to rely on collaboration. Now, what does collaboration look like? And that's what we consider high vibing, thriving tribe. When you build high vibing, thriving tribe, you can solve all social, economic, and marketplace challenges. Now, you do that through the awareness of principles and agreements to create the high vibe in the thriving tribe. So the high vibe part is the positivity, the encouragement, the empowerment, and the thriving part. You must bring this into your awareness. Is the Hi, Josh Gray. Welcome to the webinar. You must bring this into your awareness. The thriving part is about productivity. If it's just a feel-good group hug and it's positive and it's harmonic and it's encouraging and empowering, but we're not being productive because we fail to be aware of the things that hold us back and create awareness around the things that help us grow, and you won't have the thriving part, and eventually the movement burns out. So what I want to share with you today is wellness through congruence. It's our 4th DNA, and we'll do a quick review of the DNA for those of you that might be joining for the first time, or just a refresher. The WEVO DNA number 1 through 4. These 8 principles we believe are the foundation of creating high-vibing, thriving tribe. Okay, so WEVO DNA number 1 through 4, you have the interactions, you have awareness, clarity of dreams, definiteness of purpose. Hey, and if you guys have noise in the background, if you can just mute yourself. I love having people for dialogue, but if you've got a noisy environment, just go ahead and mute your own line. But definiteness of purpose. And the fourth one, which is today's DNA, is wellness. And we're going to talk about wellness through congruence. It's probably not what you're thinking when I say wellness. So stay tuned in, because this is what we consider to be the foundation before you even get to your diet, exercise, your health, and fitness, okay? But wellness through congruence. And then DNA number 5 through 8, the interactions, right? This is how you interact with people. You come to people and you're with people and you're in your essence and being as an authentic leader. Now, next week, we're going to cover that. And next week, I'll have Heather on the line doing our intro and outro and the recap of this week. We'll have Don Boyer, and we're going to have John Leslie Brown, which is the 2018, he is a 2018 candidate for governor, and a very, very incredible leader. And so we're going to be speaking about authentic leadership next week on Wednesday. And then DNA number 6 is from that place of authenticity, you start to attract and sustain tribe. And when you do that, you want to create harmonic culture inside of the tribe. As you create the harmonic culture, it holds the tribe together, because typically people get divided over small, petty things, opinions that they hold fast to as truth. Maybe you even think you know. Like if I was to ask you, do you know the world is round? How do you know the world is round? Well, unless you have been up in space on a rocket that you built, that you knew took off. Now, I'm kind of stretching out on a limb here. To take the photo yourself, the only thing you know is what you have been told. The only thing you think you know is what you've seen images of. Now, I happen to believe that the world is round. It's logical. It makes sense to me. There's writings that say it is, and people that seem to tell me it is. So I've developed this sense of faith that the world is round. But as far as belief or knowing, we don't know. So a lot of things we think we know that are opinions and that we hold fast to as truth often divide us. But by creating harmonic culture and creating some simple agreements inside of the tribe, it allows us to stick together and start moving together as one unit forward so that people live better lives and grow better businesses and achieve more of what they desire, whether for themselves, for others, or for the planet. And then this whole process that overarches this is aligned effort and energy. There are two components to aligned effort and energy. It can't just be mental, and it can't just be physical. It must be both in order to align effort and energy. The mental action of aligned effort and energy is mastermind. It's mastering the mind, and it's the collective thought of your closest confidants, of the people that you are in circles with. And we teach in WEVO, we have 4 circles of influence. The inner circle should be a group of people that you can mastermind with and connect with and collaborate mentally to solve things that maybe you lack insight on. Now, we're not going to go deep into that right now. That's not the purpose of today. But the second side of aligned effort and energy is the physical action. You're not just going to think your way to success. I have never seen not one of my friends of rare achievement, like Don Boyer. I have never seen Don Boyer not put in action and just sit in his Captain Jack chair and think his way to success. I have watched Don put in and Melinda put in work. I have watched Heather Ramsey put in work. I've watched Veronica put in work. I've watched Tom Gay put in work. I have watched John Leslie Brown put in effort and energy. He's in Texas right now speaking at AT&T. Leadership, authentic leadership, is not just about theories and thoughts and thinking and meditating, although that's very important. It's about both. You must add physical action to your mental action to create the results and the outcomes and to create a high-vibing, thriving tribe. So let's quickly take a look at today's WEVO DNA. It's number 4, and it's wellness through congruence. So DNA number 4, wellness through congruence. What does that look like? What we like to show is thoughts, emotions, feelings, words, and actions aligning, and this is the key, with your stated mission and vision. This is congruence. If who you say you are in your mission and where you say you're going in your vision, but your actions don't align, your words don't align, your thoughts, emotions, and feelings are not being submissive to the mission, sub to the mission, and sub to the vision, if they are not submitting to the mission and vision that you have, then you're going to find breaking points. You're going to find points in your life, in your business, where you tend to break. We believe that wellness, the beginning of wellness, is congruence. To align thoughts, emotions, feelings, words, and actions with your stated mission of who you are and vision of where you're going. Okay. Now, the key to that, obviously, is if you're paying attention to our DNA each week, you are learning how to discover and define what your mission and vision is. It starts with awareness, then clarity of dreams. Through clarity of dreams, you get definiteness of purpose. You start to create a plan, and then your mission, my mission statement, my personal mission statement, the first line, to live in the moment. Just pay close attention to this. To live in the moment, powered and governed by a compelling vision. To be a friend without expectation, judgment, manipulation, or control of others. To influence others to do the same. This is who I strive to align with and who I strive to be as an individual. So throughout my day, my thoughts, my emotions, my feelings, my words, and my actions, I call them into submission to the mission. They are sub to the mission. They're in submission to the mission and the vision of where I'm going. Why? Why do I know this? Because I determined it through the first 3 DNA. And so will you. So mission is your purpose for being. What is my purpose for being? And I just gave you that. It's to live in the moment, powered and governed by a compelling vision. And then when you add my vision to it, which oftentimes mission and vision can be blurred, but they oftentimes can be combined into one statement. But I like to have them separate because they really do have 2 different distinct purposes. But my mission, or your mission, is your purpose for being. You should know this if you've done the deep work to discover definiteness of purpose, right? And then vision, the visualization of the fulfillment of the long-term objective. So what is the long-term objective that you're after? So in WEVO, it's 10 million members by 2023. 10 million members by 2023. I'm not looking at a screen when I quote this. I'm not looking at a screen when I read my mission statement, because they are who I am. I am the mission and vision, and the mission and vision is me. So this allows me a foundation, not to be perfect, but to always strive for and be intentional about aligning thoughts, emotions, feelings, words, and actions with that mission and with that visualization or objective that we call vision. So with that, I want to just give you maybe some accurate thought, activity, and habit for the week. Live life powered and governed by a compelling vision. Know who you are becoming, and where you are going. That's part of the work we do every Wednesday on this webinar, is to know who we are becoming, and where we are going. What's the difference between who we are and who we are becoming? The difference is getting in touch with your higher self, your other self, your evolved self, whatever you want to call it, intuition, God, energy, the universe, whatever it is that you want to put on it. Just know that we don't define that for you, but what we ask is that you get in touch with that, because there is a place of making decisions that is higher than common thought, that is higher than the neural pathways, that is higher than the hypnotic rhythms, that is higher than knowledge. This place of connection to this other self is a place of infinite wisdom. And we want you to learn how to tap into that and to know that. And as you do, you get very clear on where you are going. And now you can align and create congruence around your mission and your vision. So the intention for this week, it starts here on Wednesdays, and then it's carried throughout our social media. It's carried into our power breakfast. But the intention this week, carefully, mindfully, with awareness, architect your mission and vision and begin alignment with both. Now, if you're already on this path, go ahead and mute your line if you're making noise in the background. That'd be great, guys. Thank you. I like leaving the lines open for now anyway, until we have 10,000 people on this, but because I like to interact as we open things up. So just mute your own line if you have noise going on. But carefully architect your mission and vision and begin alignment with both, and watch what happens. It's amazing the opportunities that come into my life. And I honestly believe it's because I clearly know who I am and where I'm going. And that comes from mission and vision. Or mission and vision actually is just the verbal, stated, written awareness of mission and vision, which helps me to attract those things into my life. So with that, I am really super excited to turn this over to my good friend and the founder of the Carnegie Principle, Mr. Don Boyer. Welcome, Don.
Hey, Brett, thanks so much. Great to be with everyone today. And well, you know, Brett, you had shared and taught so many great points here on wellness through congruency. And when we think about being congruent, that's a very, very powerful word. We're really talking about expansion. It's talking through expansion through alignment. Now, when we look at this word congruency or being congruent, and we look at it from the platform of being a platform to expand ourselves, expand our awareness, and expand our contribution to mankind and in the marketplace, it all goes back down to our own selves, meaning that we have to believe in what we're doing. We have to believe in our mission. We have to believe in ourselves. You know, we have to believe in what we are selling. And the word selling is not a bad word. Selling is a great word, because really what we are doing is we're being service to people. But before we can be congruent in that area, before we can be in alignment to that area, we have to believe in ourselves. We have to believe on what we're doing to help people. We have to believe that what we're offering people is of value. Until we have that belief system, we are always going to walk into the marketplace on tippy toes. We're going to be afraid to present of what we're doing, who we are. We're going to be afraid to invite people into our world where we can help and expand them. And when we look at the word congruency, we come back and we say, are we congruent? People have asked me, Don, is there such thing as a boring salesperson? I said, absolutely. We are all born the world's greatest salespeople. We are just conditioned out of it through adolescence and adulthood. I mean, look at a child. A child will get their way with their parents more times than they won't. No matter if the parent says, no, we're not doing this, you can't have this, no, no, no. to a child when we were children, we had no concept of what no was. We didn't understand that meaning. And so we would go back and ask and ask until finally our parents said, okay, you can have this thing that you're asking for, or we'll go do what you say you want to do. You take a child to a grandparent, and the grandparent has no chance. They're melted butter in that child's hands. Why? Because they understand, they're congruent with what they want. They believe in it. They're passionate about it, right? Well, that's how we were born. We were all born professional, excellent, the world's greatest salespeople, but through adolescence and adulthood, now we got programmed out of it. The only way that we're going to help people, the only way that we are going to be a shining light in this world is to offer them our giftings and offer them the ability to come into our world so that we can lift them up. That's what congruency is all about. And so when we get in touch with our passion, all of a sudden we now realize I'm not selling things as the traditional thought process of selling. I am now coming into taking my responsibility. It is our responsibility to share the information that we have in order to help other people grow and expand. You know, Bob Proctor has a great saying. He says, tell me what you want, and I'll show you how to get it.
Yeah.
He built a multi-million-dollar business around that concept. Tell me what you want, and I'm going to show you how to get it. This is a mindset. This is a platform that we should all be working for. When we want to help people, tell me what you want, and I'm going to show you how to get it. Well, how can we help them? How can we show them how to get it if we don't believe in our own selves, or if we don't believe in our own product line or our own mission? We have to start off with that area of believing in our own selves. You know, Brett, you said something that was great about not everything that we read is true, right? Like the old saying says, how do you know that's true? I read it on the internet, right? Well, we know for the fact is there's a lot of things out there that is not authentic and true. So being wellness through congruency is we start with our own selves, and we're always growing, we're always developing, and we are always expanding. But it always goes back down now to tapping into our passion and realizing the fact that what you have, no matter what industry that you're in, no matter what business that you're in, how you are serving people, it has value. You have to believe that. The moment you believe that what you are doing has extraordinary value for other people, then all of a sudden now there is no such thing as fear of going out and talking to people about exposing to people to what you do. All that vanishes away because you know that you are not trying to sell them something for your benefit. You are now in a position where you are being a servant. You are being a shining light in a dark world. Say, let me help you find the way. Let me help you with whatever you're dealing with. Let me help you solve your problems and get you what you want. It's a whole mind shift, a whole mindset that we adapt into being congruent. Now, here at our home, in the mornings, I get up very early. Usually my day starts about between 3 and 3:30 in the morning. So sometimes when we have guests, you know, they'll see me and they'll say, well, Don, everything that you talk about on stage, you guys actually live. And here's the whole process of being congruent, is that what we say publicly, what we do on the outside, has to be exactly what we do in our world, in our inner world, in our everyday lives. Because the fact of the matter is, people out there in the marketplace, they are looking for us. And here's what they want to know. Before I can trust you, before I can hand you over my money, my life, my allegiance, I have to know that you are authentic and that you are true. So it all goes back down to our own selves. As we are learning to expand in the marketplace and growing all of our businesses and helping people, we have to be true first and foremost to ourselves. This is why all the masters have always said, it's about self-mastery. When we master ourselves, our emotions, our feelings, our thought process, then and only then can we go back out into the marketplace and be a true leader and be a true servant. And listen, millions of people right now are lost. They're looking for the way. They're looking for an answer. They're looking for you. Do you realize that right now, no matter what business you're in, thousands and thousands of people are looking for you? They're trying to find you because they know that you have the answers that they need. When you believe that, when you honestly understand that, all of a sudden now your passion fires inside light up. All of a sudden now you have a reason to get out of bed. Now you don't know what such thing as a setback or an obstacle or a discouraging day or what no means. You're going to go back to like your childhood, right? When your parents said no, it meant nothing. But when you're in the marketplace and helping people, you are going to get some no's. That's part of the equation. But that doesn't mean anything because you're looking for the individuals that are looking for you. And they're out there by the millions. So it all goes back down to our passion and being congruent. So, Brett, I hope that was a little bit of information that all of our leaders could take, adapt, and apply to their lives.
Don, that is excellent as always. Thank you so much. And I've got a couple questions for you, especially on your upcoming event this weekend that we'll be at in Anaheim. But one of the things that you said is, you know, these guys we all have millions of people looking for us, thousands of people that want our products and services. And when we look at it and people get in the mindset of competition, I watched the movie Creed last night, and Rocky goes to Adonis Creed. He says, look in this mirror. That's your opponent. He said, you are the only one that can stop you. And throughout the movie, as he helped Adonis get congruent with himself and not living in his father's shadow and not living based on other people's criticisms and thoughts, but in his own essence of himself, he became powerful and unstoppable. And so it is with this group of people and all of us as authentic leaders. So I love that you bring that point up, is that it's not about attracting people. You can attract a lot of people, but if you're not ready because you're not congruent, then you're going to unbrand yourself. Well, you're going to brand yourself, just not what you want. So get congruent today, because the people are there and they're waiting to connect. They're waiting to connect with congruent leaders that offer real value and are, like you said, who they say they are from stage, they are at home as well. So I love that point. Thank you for that. Tell us about your event coming up this weekend. Can people still register? Can we bring some people out to Anaheim?
Absolutely. The event is going to be this Friday, the 27th. It's free for everyone to come on Friday night. It's a 3-day event where we get together all of our members from Carnegie, come on out, and they're flying from all over the United States. We have some from coming out of foreign countries. And we have 3 days of intense training and learning about higher principles of education, the law of attraction, but also business entrepreneurship as well. So it's a lot of fun time together, intense, but it will be a life changer. So we definitely want to have everyone come on out and join us. It'll be fantastic. It's going to be in Anaheim at the DoubleTree Hotel. The kickoff starts on Friday night at 6 p.m. So it's going to be great. But one thing that I wanted to share, Brett, real quick, while I was thinking about this, is that if people don't join our business, if people don't buy our product, if they don't get involved with where you're getting involved with, it's our fault, not theirs. Meaning that it is our responsibility to help them see the value on what we are offering them that's going to change the world. If we are thirsty, somebody offers us a glass of water, right? They don't have to sell us. We are like thankful that that water is there, or whatever we have. Right? We go out to the marketplace with that same thought. They're thirsty for what we have, and we just got to give it to them. So
that's it.
Thank you for that.
That's absolutely incredible. Great insight. And you're right. I had someone this week that I teach a certain way to make contact on digital media and convert that into its highest and best outcome. And I'll have people come to me and say, and this gentleman is a dear friend. He's in Florida. And he said, man, I'm doing what you teach and it's not working. And I go, first of all, success has no bias to who you are or, you know, whether you're feeling good or not feeling good, whether you're tall or you're skinny or you're not. There's higher laws, you apply them, and one of those higher laws is congruence. If you're congruent with the activity, then the activity will work. The success is not going to pick me and not pick you. It will pick whoever is congruent with the activity. He changed something in his energy and then started getting results. And so oftentimes I think people are in that self-doubt that you talked about, and they're in their self-doubt of themselves, their self-doubt of which direction they're going, the self-doubt of their products and services. If you have that going on and you're not going to fix it, then get out of that business. Get into something you're congruent with. Go do something that you match up with and get 100% congruent so you can get the results. So any final thoughts before we bring Heather on, brother?
No, I mean, I'll tell you what, it's all about coming back down to our belief system. build up your belief, grow that out, and I'll tell you, you will become unstoppable.
Love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Don. Looking forward to this weekend and then being on the webinar next week. We'll be doing authentic leadership. And we've got Heather, we've got Don, we've got me, and we've got John Leslie Brown next weekend, 2018 candidate for governor. Heather, are you live and on audio?
I'm live and on audio, champ. How are you?
Oh, lovely. It's great to see your voice. Would you take us away with just some insights and recap and wisdom and set us up for a powerful week?
You bet. It would be an honor. I think my first reflection and integration from you and Don is it's interesting in a very good way. If we were to come to any gathering, live or online, and somebody said the topic is wellness, a zillion themes could have been covered. My body, my mind, my soul, my emotions, what to drink, what not to drink, eat protein, eat you name the plethora of things we could talk about. They would all be legitimate. And I don't actually remember one event ever, whether it was 5 minutes or 5 days, titled wellness, where the two contributions, the two invitations, both from you and from Don, were about alignment, congruence. Who am I? Why am I here? What is my primary purpose? What is my passion? What are my contributions in the world? So not that this is better or worse than another theme on wellness, but I love the guts and the freshness and the proposal that both of you bring around this contribution to wellness and how beautifully it ties in fact, to last week in terms of definiteness of purpose. And in fact, I want to wrap us up with a few quick visuals on the definiteness of purpose and some activity in the chat box. And each of you are going to see how or why in a moment. So let me just do a quick share screen and hop into a quick visual from last week, which is tying in definiteness of purpose with this theme of wellness. And more specifically, I'm going to ask everybody to put in the chat, we had a lot of quote unquote multiple marriages at the very end of last week. And I think it was even Jason who said, you have me in tears. Does anybody remember any clues? And I want to see in the chat box, what did I suggest you want to marry together last week? This is very much about definiteness of purpose. It's also very much about congruence, alignment, and wellness. So I'd love to see in the chat box any guesstimations. And I think Jason's, I certainly see the smile on his face, and he may actually be married to my purpose. Bruce is coming in first out of the starting block. He beat you. And Jason's dancing there. Venus, seeding our dreams in the quantum field. Great test. This isn't 7 minutes ago. This is 7 days ago. So it's not about how smart we are or what we tell you, but what do you retain and or integrate? Missed last week. Blessings. You're lucky that we're recapping. That invitation of multiple marriages, and Bruce and Vina, you're in the zone, and Tim, great for your candor. And love to see if Jason or Josh or anyone else wants to key in. This sense of multiple marriages was around, what if you married your purpose in with the universe, or your definite chief aim into the quantum field? Hey, we're getting some visuals on the screen. Good for you, Jason. I love it. However you want to phrase it, the invitation was to align. Put a ring on it. Yeah, baby, I can hear the song. Fantastic. And so if you get all these words, great. But if you get none of them, get the feeling, get the possibility that you were already born for greatness. You were already born with a purpose. You already have a soul. You're already connected to the universe. And therefore, maybe you just need to show up. We each need to show up at our own wedding every day and marry the universe and or our purpose every day. That's really the invitation. And so just a few more visual recaps. A bit of Brett's invitation was to know what that, and as he demonstrated, vision, mission, your chief aim, know it, write it, memorize it, have it be your guidance system, your unwavering commitment. And some of Dawn's invitations were about, yes, thank you, Vina, the quantum field, that energy that has yet to take form. Our thoughts move into the quantum field if we're conscious and purposeful about it. And the twinning of that quantum energy in our thoughts create matter. So are we doing it indefinitely without definiteness? Are we wandering and floating around, wandering generalities? Or are we doing it with definiteness of purpose? We're manifesting regardless. How much are we wandering in the forest and how much are we brilliantly clear? And finally, and Dawn, I love it that you brought it up again in a very good way. I could never hear that too often, is that whatever you want wants you, or some, version thereof that you shared, like money's looking for you. It's not, if you're looking for money, money's looking for you and knocking on your door. Just say, come on in. Love, if that's what you're looking for, is looking for you. So say, come on in. So that hopefully twinning the definiteness of purpose with wellness, that alignment of you knowing you already got it in the bag, you're already born great, and may you know and marry yourself to the universal wisdom every day, and may you enjoy that, and may you never be the same.
Awesome. Thank you, Heather. Thank you, Dawn. Thanks, everybody, for being on the call. And Heather, you're absolutely right. The reason, when you really become aware, the reason wellness must start with congruence is because we see people all the time that start an exercise plan and then get off. We see people all the time that start a diet and then they change. We see people all the time, right? We all are guilty of this. So what we started to look at and become aware of is that if you create the foundation, the framework to stick to accurate thought, activity, and habit, it's the framework. And that framework is the stated mission and vision of yourself. So if it's the stated mission and vision of your health, then align your thoughts, emotions, feelings, words, and actions to that stated vision. If you don't have a stated vision and mission of your health, then maybe that's why it's so easy for everything to sidetrack. But if we start here, so another way that I could say this is John Leslie Brown and I were having a conversation. We were, as 2018 candidate for governor, we're having a lot of discussion around tribe because he wants to contribute, not campaign. That's why I love this man. He'll be on our call next week. And we were talking about the issues. What do you want to talk about? Taxes, unemployment. That's what every politician does every year. I go, John Leslie, you know what I love about you? You want to get to the core of why those issues exist. If we don't start dealing with things at the core, which is what high vibing, thriving tribe does, and we keep having the conversation on the issue, health and fitness, we're never going to fix it. We must get to the core of it. You get to the roots to fix the tree, right? And so our role every week on this webinar is twofold. Number one, expand the tribe. More people on the webinar means more awareness. As we all come together in agreement and principle, we start to collaborate at a higher level because we're all becoming aware together in the collective thought and collective action. So thank you, everybody, for being on the call, being on the webinar. I look forward to next week. Josh Gray, it's great to see you, brother. Don Boyer, thank you, Heather. Everyone on the call, it looks like Nancy's on the call. Jason, Alina, Bruce, Jonathan, love that you're on the call, brother, man. So exciting. Kelly, Leah, I don't want to miss anybody. There's a lot of people on, but Marjorie, Steve, Tim, Vina, Veronica, phone numbers. We're so glad you're on the call. Whoever you are, you're beautiful. This week in Anaheim, come join us. Don, we're going to have a good time, aren't we?
It's going to be awesome. Life changer.
All right, brother. Thank you guys so much. Have a beautiful week. Let's look in the chat. The chat's going crazy. What do we got going on in here? Oh, Heather, it's your screen. I'm trying to click on your screen, Heather. That's awesome.
We're grateful for Brett the Jet.
Oh, love you, Jason. You're a stud, man. It's so good to see you on video.
Love you right back, brother. I have a laptop showing up tomorrow, so I couldn't figure out how to chat from the tablet. It's working, though. I'm so grateful.
Chomping at the bit, Jason. It was fantastic.
Well, Alina raised her hand in Zoom, and I go, I don't know what to do with that. I wanted to high five my screen, but we'll get it straightened out.
Lots of chats coming in the chat box. Just great. We were at, I think, 17, then 18. Vina's doing a count at 21, which is growing. Lots of invitations are coming through, and gratitude. So good on all of you.
So everybody this week, share WEVOsecret.com. That is the invite to the webinar every week, WEVOsecret.com. And we're going to show the world what collaboration looks like when you put combined effort and energy with your peers in an awareness. So WEVOsecret.com. Have a great week, everybody.
Thank you, Brett. Thank you, Heather. Thank you, Don. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you, Don. Thank you.
Josh.
Thank you, Brett. See you,
Good to
Jason.
see you, Josh Gray.
Guys.
Miss you,
Rock it
Paul.
out.
Miss you, boys.
Thank you, everyone.
David Keith.
Bye. See ya,
Love you guys.
everybody.
The universe.
Peace, everybody.
I can't hang up. I feel all the vibration, the love.
Soak it up, brother, and give it back.
David Keith and I were with some folks at the Refer.com event a couple weeks ago in Phoenix, and it was midnight. No one wanted to go to bed. They were like, no, when you find a tribe of people that are becoming, that are awakening, and they're aware and they're wanting to collaborate, they don't want to let go of that feeling. But there's an important piece here. We got to kick butt at the same time. We can't just feel good. We've got to be productive and create results, because ultimately the lack of results causes pain in people's life. And if they're in pain, they're going to lose sight of the awareness they thought they had. That's a huge point. So oftentimes, if people aren't productive, then they account all the information they're learning and go, well, it doesn't work. No, it works, but we have to put it into action. So it's always great.
One of the greatest marriages, by the way, feeling good with producing results.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Wow.
high vibing, thriving tribe. Let's
the
vibe
Vesica
and
Pisces.
thrive. Rock on, guys.
Hey, Brett, I learned this from you, that discomfort is my catalyst to change, and that's made the biggest difference for me. And I believe Heather talked about it too a couple of weeks ago. So last week has been super magical for Christina and I, and we appreciate everyone. We're so grateful.
Oh, love it, brother. You're right. It is a catalyst to change, or it becomes a catalyst for people to doubt. So if they think they know, so it can be both, right? And obviously we'll be covering a lot more of that in the curriculum, and as we continue to move on. And as you know, Don and Melinda and the team over there are going to knock it out of the park this weekend in Anaheim. So love
Hey,
you
Mickey
guys.
Mouse. Love you right back, brother.
All right.
Thank you, Heather.
Enjoy. We'll see you.
Blessings.
Blessings.
Bye.
Thank you, Heather.